Hey guys, welcome to my channel Swadhyaya for UPSC, and this is Shankar, and this is my WhatsApp number. So today I came up with the polity current affairs here, and the topic which is more relevantly seen in our news is our private member bill. So this is what our context in our video today we are about to discuss, and this is one of the UPSC's favorite area where I have analyzed the previous papers as well. And those previous paper analysis is clearly saying that at least one or two questions related to these private and public member bills are being asked by our UPSC, and hence I came up with this video for a better understanding and to have a better score in our preliminary 2020 point of view. So now here this is what our YouTube channel is meant for, the Swadhyaya for UPSC. We initially focus on the civil services examination with free online classes, exclusively free, no need. You just need not worry about the things, and especially we are focusing on this UPSC civil services examination, IAS, IPS, All India services, along with all other Group A services as well. And you can follow this channel to learn the current affairs, economy, science and technology, Indian history, polity, international relations, geography, whatnot. Everything will be going to be covered, especially in the point of prelims as well as in the point of mains. Even the answer writing challenges were also open for you aspirants who are very seriously preparing for the examination. And please do like, share, comment, subscribe, and promote this channel for the self learners. And these all going to be taken under the guidance and the mentorship Shankar sir, and this is me itself. So here go into our topic. What is our today's discussion is about for what is today's video lecture is. So today's discussion is on the context which is coming in the news every time. Every time it is coming into the news, and that is nothing but your private member bills, and that private member bills related points, both static as well as your dynamic aspects, we are going to discuss. And today our discussion, as I said, we are going to learn, we are going to know about the context as well as about who are the private members and what is a private member bill in the parliament. Parallelly, on the other side, who are public members and what is a public bill in the parliament. Likewise, under the about section, we are also going to discuss about what is the procedure for admitting the private bill in the parliament and what happens after the discussion of the private bill in the parliament. And till date, there are many thousands of private bills got introduced in the parliament, even though only 14 private bills had become laws. So what are the most important reasons behind that, and what are the most important concerns behind that, and what is the significance of these private member bills and all we are going to discuss. Along with that, what are the important laws, those private bills which became laws, which was introduced by these private members. So that is what our context for the today's video lecture is about. So why wasting time? Let us go into the topics. But before that, please do like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click the bell icon below the description so that you will not miss any videos which is very important and exclusively free for your preparation strategies. So now what is that context is all about? So the context is saying earlier Rajya Sabha MP and the RSS dialogue Rakesh Sinha. Who is that fellow? The Rakesh Sinha. So he plans to introduce a private member bill on the recent issue Ram Temple construction. This can be seen as a test to the opposition itself. Of course, it is my point of view. So the parliamentary section in the construction of Ram temple at Ayodhya, and this was introduced in Rajya Sabha. So the first most important point you need to highlight here. So there might be a question in our preliminary examination. Private member bill can be introduced where? Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, both, or directly can be seen as a part of our president's ordinance. So such a type of options we can see. So in any of the houses of the parliament, the private member bills can be introduced. So let us wait for the discussion. So this is what the first context is talking about. And now the second context there itself, see, you can observe in 2015, the Rights of Transgender Persons Bill 2014. So it was passed by this Rajya Sabha, which can be seen also as a private member bill, and that private member is Tiruchi Shiva of the DMK party, and that bill had 27 times amended, and it has been passed by the Lok Sabha in the December 2018, and that becomes an act. So in 2018, the recent private member bill got enacted, and that is what we call it as the Rights of Transgender Persons Act. So the purpose of that bill is to amend and remove the existing provisions of the laws which can be misused by the author's vested interests. Likewise, we are also having the Freedom of Literature Bill 2018, which comes under your Article 19(1)(a), nothing but which comes under your Part 3 of Indian Constitution. So that is what related article to that freedom of literature, nothing but your freedom of speech and expression. So it was introduced by the veteran person, the most favorite person of mine. This is nothing but your Shashi Tharoor from the Congress party. So he suggested reaching the amendments to various statutes, which is difficult for the governments to ban books and to provide the safeguards for the authors and scholars of the arbitrary existing legal battles. So there are many legalities which are coming into picture because the freedom of speech and expression is also being questioned, and the constitutional safeguard mechanisms are also being questioned in the parliament itself. And you know it very well, under fundamental rights 19(1)(a), freedom of speech and expression, there are many books which got banned, there are many movies which got banned. So there are certain grounds, there are certain limitations where some steps can be taken by the government where they can curtail these fundamental rights and all. So this so-called bill puts on the government why and how to explain why a book needs to be banned. What is the reason behind that banning a book? Is it not violating the constitutional provisions, the constitutional rights, fundamental rights which are provided by the constitution itself? So such a type of points, everything can be questioned under this bill, which got introduced by your Rajya Sabha MP Shashi Tharoor from the Congress party. So this is what the context is. So there are many such type of bills which we call it as private bills or private member bills, which are being introducing in the parliament either in Lok Sabha or in Rajya Sabha, but those were not getting that much priority, where even discussions were also not being allowed by the presiding officers of the houses of the parliament. So that is what the context which is every time coming into the news. And more importantly, why I choose this topic in the sense, in 2019, often around 25 times, either in the Hindu editorial or in the Times of India or many such national newspapers where we aspirants used to follow. So often around 25 times it came, and hence obviously we can expect a question from the UPSC examination, and that is the reason why I choose this topic. And after this context, we are now going and going to understand the whereabouts. So the whereabouts, here comes the first subtopic here under our discussion itself. Who are the private members and what is private member bill in the parliament? So for this, you need to keep a point in your mind. What is that point? It is very, very important, and it is the definition which we might expect for the examination directly. So any MP who is not a minister, any MP who is not a minister can be seen as a private member. See, we know it very well that this parliament is nothing but what? The Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha, the Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha plus the President of India. Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha plus President of India. This under Article 79, we know it very well under our constitution itself. So now, as this definition is saying, there will be a primary objective for every article. So the objective of this, the purpose of this Parliament of India is nothing but to make laws. To make laws in such a way where it should not or it cannot violate the constitutional provisions. So they should pass such a type of bills to become a law, to become an act only under the roof of the constitution. They should abide to the constitution of India. And every MP of our parliament, means every member of the parliament, is having equal rights, equal objective, equal purposes. And hence, whether a minister or a non-minister, everyone is having that right to introduce anything which were related to the issues of the common public or to their concerned constituencies. So in that manner you need to remember. So any MP, either from Lok Sabha or from Rajya Sabha, who is not a minister in the sense nothing but the Prime Minister plus Council of Ministers. This we can call it as the government, the union government, also called the union executive. So other than these government members, other than these ministers, all other MPs, whether they do belong to the ruling party or to the opposition, no matter, those was defined as a private member. So here see, both ministers and private members can contribute to the law making process. Bills introduced by the ministers are referred as the government bills, also called the public bills. Government bills also called the public bills. So any minister who is an MP, whether he do belong to the ruling or the opposition party, who is an MP who is a minister is the government executive, and hence those were called the government bills or also called the public bills. So an MP who is not a minister is a private member. An MP who is a minister is called a public member. And they can be seen that these so-called government bills can get the support of the government because their major agenda is to make law according to the will and wish of the government itself. But whereas a private member, a minister, an MP who is not a minister, a private member, will not go and get that attention or the support from the government. So there will be no backup from the government itself. So now, obviously, from this there will be a logical conclusion we can take into consideration, and that logical conclusion is nothing but what? From the ruling party, because the ruling party members on a majority basis they can form the government there. So the ruling party members who are not ministers will not try to initiate the private bills. Practically I am talking. But anyone can initiate this, no issues in that. So the private members who are non-minister MPs, their purpose, their main objective is to draw the attention of the government related to a matter of importance. So this is what the context is. So obviously that so-called ministers who are supported from the ruling party itself, will back up such a type of private bills where that so-called private bill, if at all it is going to be introduced by the ruling party members itself. So private member bills are piloted by the non-minister MPs, and their purpose is to draw the government's attention to what individual MPs see as issues and gaps in the existing legal framework, where a legislative intervention is the need of the day. And now here comes, what is the procedure for admitting a private member bill in the parliament? So this is what the most important expected question for this preliminary 2020 is. So here see the points very important. The admission of the private members bill is decided by the presiding officer of the house. So the presiding officer for Lok Sabha is the speaker and for Rajya Sabha is the chairman. and hence there will be a common procedure which is being following by both the houses regarding this private members bill. So here you need to keep a point in your mind that this so-called private member bills, at least 30 days prior notice, 30 days prior notice should be given. Means seeking, requesting that so-called presiding officer to give a chance to introduce that private bill. And what happened? Prior to the 30 days notice, which was taken by that private member who is supposed to introduce the bill, that so-called bill will be sent to the House Secretariat. So to the Secretariat office, it will be sent, where there the procedure starts. So the Secretariat will examine its so-called provisions of the bill, or the intention of the bill, or the purpose of the bill, or the objective of the bill, whether it is compliance with the constitutional provisions or it is violating that. If it is having the constitutional provisions where a legal framework is really need for the day, and the rules on the legislation before listing and all will be taken care of. So that is what the first initial step which can be taken as a part of this procedure. So till 1997, and this point you need to remember for the static understanding. So till 1997, a private members who want to introduce their bills, there was a limit, and that limit is 3 bills in a week. 3 bills in a week. But by the time the practicality was taken into consideration by the then Vice President, nothing but the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha, K.R. Narayan, and he limited that 3 bills per week was now limited to the number of bills should be 3 per session. And you know that these parliamentary sessions, according to our constitution, the parliamentary sessions should be held at least twice per year. At least twice per year. So in every parliamentary session, the private bills which are needed to introduce in the sabhas, in the parliament, was limited to 3. Previously it is 3 per week, but because of the step taken by K.R. Narayan in the year 1997, that was seen as a limit like 3 bills per session. So this is what the point you need to remember for your examination. So prior notice of 30 days is required, and per session not more than 3 should be introduced. There might be a chance to introduce only 3. It should not exceed that. Whereas on the other side, the public bills, nothing but the government bills, can be introduced and discussed on any day. On any day, any number of times, any number of bills. And there will be no limits, nothing. So why this was? In the sense, the government which was formed in the parliament, let me say at the center, and the primary objective, the purpose of that government is to address the problems, and a legal framework should be done in the form of acts or laws where that can be seen as a solution to reduce the issues of the people. So every day there is the most important intervention points which are taken into consideration, and it is the responsibility of the central government, it is the responsibility of the government itself to take up those considerations, and hence on any day any number of bills can be introduced and can be discussed. Whereas private member bills, as we know that there is a cap of 3 per session, that too discussions will be allowed only on Fridays. So every week in that session only on Fridays. So this is the point you need to remember at any cost. And private member bills have been introduced and discussed in Rajya Sabha from the past 3 years is just only 20 times. In 3 years, only 20 days, I mean 20 Fridays, the discussions were put forward. This is really disgusting. Why that priority is not being given? Why that opportunities were not being given to these private members, especially from the opposition parties, who are having the main purpose, primary objective to draw the attention from the government? So this is really a big question mark. So this is what all about that so-called private member bill procedure. And now, after introduction, when it came for the discussion and then the discussion completed, what happens after this discussion to the private member bill in the parliament? So this is the next most important criteria, and hence once the discussion was completed, the private member who introduced the bill can withdraw it on the request of the minister concerned, or may choose to press ahead with the passage. So this is what the points are talking about. So it is clearly saying what? It is clearly saying what? Upon the consideration of the bill, nothing but once the discussion was completed, if the government is ready to take that, if the government already gave a solution or will be giving a solution in future, then obviously the government, so-called concerned minister, which is related to that private member bill, will request that private person to withdraw that. But the private member is not going to bind. In the sense, the private member is having two options. The first option is he may withdraw it on the request made by the concerned minister from the government, or he pressure the government, or he requests the house to put forward for voting. So if he is going to withdraw, then no issues. But if he is pressuring the Sabha to put forward for voting, then comes the issues. So if the private member got the support of the house, obviously that bill is considered to be passed. But here the point you need to remember, if a private bill without the support of government, if it is passing with the majority, then government should resign, means government should dissolve. Keep this point in your mind. If the private bill without the support of government, if it was passed, then government should dissolve. If in case the government is supporting that private bill and then the house is passing, then government no need to dissolve. These are the most logical questions which the UPSC is concentrating. And regarding that bill procedure, passing of the bill, how a bill is going to pass in the parliament, in the polity videos you can go through that. I will explain in the further videos as well, along with my team support and all, so that can be given to you. So this is what happened. So if in the second case, if the bill was put to vote and if the private member gets the support of the house, then it will be considered as passed. But here the point to remember is in 1977, Rajya Sabha passed a private members bill. Rajya Sabha passed a private members bill to amend the Aligarh Muslim University Act. So the question for you guys, Aligarh Muslim University was established in which year, under which British Viceroy, and by whom? So modern India classes, you just watch my previous videos related to modern India. There I have clearly mentioned, because it is having its own importance as well. So the first private member bill can be seen in 1977, and this bill then went to the 6th Lok Sabha. But by that time in the year 1979, because of the change in the government, again Indira Gandhi government come into picture. Prior to that, there was an emergency, national emergency in our India. So when this bill which got introduced in 1977, and in the year 1979, because of some issues, that bill which was sent to that Lok Sabha 1979, it was not passed. Why it was not passed? Because dissolution of the house, dissolution of Lok Sabha can be seen. because Lok Sabha is a temporary body, and by that time, as I said, because of the emergency situations and because of the step taken by Indira Gandhi and all, a new government was formed in the year 1980, and because of that, no parliamentary session can be seen as it is a national emergency in India, and hence this so-called bill which was passed by Rajya Sabha, but as there is no Lok Sabha, that was totally lapsed. So from this, a logical point you need to remember: if a bill which was passed by Rajya Sabha, private bill passed by Rajya Sabha and sent to Lok Sabha, passed by Rajya Sabha, sent to Lok Sabha, and when Lok Sabha dissolves there, what will happen to that private bill? It is going to lapse. That point you need to remember. So for the last time, a private member's bill which passed by both the houses, means by the parliament, was in 1970. And that is nothing but the Supreme Court Enlargement of Criminal Appellate Jurisdiction Bill 1968. So till date, 14 private member bills, and in those 14 private member bills, 5 were introduced in Rajya Sabha, have become acts or laws so far. So there are thousands, let me say 200 plus, some will say 300 plus, some will say. So in my point of view, those were not at all taken into consideration. Those were not prioritized in the parliament. So this is what happened. So out of those 300 plus or 200 plus private member bills, only 14 till date got passed. Why? What is happening there? So this is what the context, and this comes for your mains. Of course, a little bit less priority can be given in the point of view of your preliminary examination. So why only 14 private bills become laws, in spite more than 200 such bills got introduced in the parliament? So this is what the context is. The question rises. So here the point: while any MP can introduce a private member bill, you know it very well, who is not a minister. When he is not a minister, a MP who is not a minister, obviously he is not in the form of, I mean, a part of the government, and hence the support of the government is a lack. And that support of the government cannot be given on the grounds of number of reasons there. These bills got that low priority when the government was not given that support, that backup. Obviously low priority will be given. That is what the first reason. The second reason, a limited time. So we know it very well that this private member bills only on Fridays, they got introduced, and hence there is allocating of a fixed day here, and this limited time slot for these bills further results in very less time for the discussions, and many of the bills were not even taken for discussions also, and hence the governments also don't want to see as this legislation space to individual MPs, because it clearly shows if they are allowing the private members who are not a part of the government to introduce such type of private bills to fill the gaps of the legislation, the government indirectly accepting the failure. Obviously the oppositions will pressure and demand the government to dissolve, and hence government will not come forward to support, and government don't want these private members to introduce any such type of bills. And now finally, what are some other important laws that were introduced as private member bills? So till date, as we said, 14, but I am not going to discuss all those 14 here, but here some of the important points. The first private member bill in the 1952 under Jawaharlal Nehru government, that is nothing but your Muslim Waqf bill, which is having a purpose and aim, objective to provide the better governance and administration for the Waqf Muslims, Waqf board we can also say, and it was introduced by your Syed Muhammad Ahmad Qasmi in the Lok Sabha and was passed in 1954 under the Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru itself. So that is what the first point you need to remember. So right from the 1952 which got introduced, it took 2 years to pass that bill, that too with the support of government, and that is the reason why that so-called Jawaharlal Nehru government was not dissolved. And some other private member bills which became laws also includes the Proceedings of the Legislature Protection of Publication Bill 1956, which was introduced by Feroz Gandhi in the Lok Sabha, and the Salaries and Allowances of the Members of the Parliament Amendment Bill 1964, which got introduced by Raghunath Singh in the Lok Sabha, and finally the Indian Penal Code Amendment Bill 1967 introduced by Diwan Chamanlal in the Rajya Sabha. So such a type of bills can be seen as a part. And recently in the year 2018, the Rights of the Transgenders Act, which was a private member bill with 27 amendments, it got passed by both the houses of the parliament. So the question for you guys, what are the other 14 important private member bills which got introduced and discussed and passed by the parliament, and what are the consequences? So please do comment below the description, and if you do want the reference material for this video lecture, then please ping me to my WhatsApp number. So this is what all about that so-called important major issue, private member bill, which is our context, which was seen 25 times often around in 2019 in different national papers, newspapers. So, and hence this is important for the examination. So this is all about this so-called private member bill, who are private members, who are public members, how that private member bill can be introduced, and how a public member bill can be introduced, how much time prior notice should be given for the private member as well as for a public member, on what days the private member bill will be put forward for discussion, and regarding that vote procedure, and once it got passed, then what are those, and what is the issue, the call for the day, that these so-called private member bills, even though it was more than 300 or 200, so only 14 was got passed by the parliament. What are the reasons behind that? So this is all about this video lecture. So thank you for watching this video. Please stay tuned for the further updates, so that you can update the most important and relevant important topics for the current affairs session related to almost all the GS papers and unexpected questions for the UPSC 2020 preliminary examination. So please do like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel, and below the slides I have given my contact number, and that is what my WhatsApp number is as well. So please do ping me to my WhatsApp number so that I can share the material if you wish to do so. So this is all, signing off. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe.